Guys, what's up? Now let's get into the end of the day recap. Another really a nice day, a decent day. Another day though where I kind of I could have traded the last piece of a trade a little bit better. If you watch my video from yesterday, I felt like I could have held on to my last piece of my BIIB short a little bit longer. I left some money on the table. A little similar story today, guys. I bought some Beyond Meat put options today, and I exited them a little bit too early. Still a real nice trade. I bought those contracts at $1.98, sold them at $2.50, the bulk of the position, but I ended up getting shaken out of the last piece, and the stock ended up continuing much lower, and those put option contracts ended up extending, going way, way higher than the 250. So I left some money on the table with that, and I'm going to go over that trade with you. I also took some profit off on my JNUG swing trade. I entered JNUG long yesterday. If you missed yesterday's video, go back, check it out. I talk about the analysis on that JNUG trade, and I'm going to update you with that trade. I still have the bulk of the position, but I did take 25% of the position off the table today. We had a nice gap up, a nice extension on JNUG, so I locked in some profits, reduced my risk, totally playing with house money. I've moved my stop loss up, so we're going to talk about that as well. But first, let's get to the Beyond Meat swing trade. The Beyond Meat trade from earlier today. All right, so here's Beyond Meat. We're going to talk about, real quick, guys, we're going to talk about this 106 level. This 106 level was yesterday's lows, and it was also the prior day's lows. Okay, so now as I zoom this in, you can see we had a big gap down here on Beyond Meat, and we rallied right off the open to try to go back and go green. You can see we got rejected right at this area. Okay, but the other thing that we notice is, look at that trade line. The 9 exponential moving average, you can see rejected right there at that 9 EMA, and then we rolled this all the way over. Now, guys, notice how strong of a rejection this is. This is really what got my attention. This was what showed me we had a lot of resistance at this trade line, and we had a lot of resistance at this previous little support level. Okay, it's the fact that we pulled this all the way back down. We basically took back that entire opening bell push. That's how strong of a rejection that was. If Beyond Meat had done this, okay, let's say Beyond Meat did this instead, I probably do not place this trade because it was the manner in which we got rejected at the trade line in that previous little level that told me that this stock was still weak. So right here, I went ahead and I bought some Beyond Meat put options. Take you guys to my trade announcements on the day. Here you can see I bought the 100 strike Friday expiration puts at $1.98. My stop loss was going to be if we got above the trade line, which at the time was around 104.50. Okay, so there we are. There's the entry, there's the stop loss, because I'm banking now that the trade line is going to come down and be resistance. So I bought those contracts there, guys. Oh, sorry. Let me go back and add that. So there's where I entered the puts. We then pushed down towards the low of the day, and I took some profit off in front of the low of the day just to be safe, just to make sure we don't double bottom. I sold 25% of the position. Take you back to my trade announcements here. You guys can see I took some off at $2.30. Okay, I sold 25% there at $2.30. We bounced back up here off the low of the day, small little bounce, and then here comes the trade line. Trade line comes back in, acts as resistance, get a trade line VO across, and it pushes Beyond Meat straight down to the low of the day, make new lows, and I take more profit off the table at $2.50. All right, so I sold the bulk of my position at $2.50, and I'm still holding 25% of the position. What I was really looking for at this point, guys, was for us to stay below this previous double bottom initial morning low. The trade line had come down. Okay, the trade line was lining up with that previous low. I was really hoping we were going to get resistance there, but Beyond Meat pushed through that. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, VWAP will be my last line in the sand, and we pushed right through VWAP. And right here, I got shaken out of my last piece of that position at $2.07. Still profitable on that last piece, but very small. Okay, so, and you can see I was really upset that I allowed myself to get shaken out there, because as you can see, Beyond Meat went much, much lower. So this is the trade that I was expecting to happen here. Okay, this is the move I was looking for here. I was looking for Beyond Meat to get below 100 today. That's why I had the 100 strike puts. I was looking for us to get below 100 today, and we did, but I just got stopped. I just got shaken out on that little reversal sign, that little reversal, very brief move on Beyond Meat. So Was frustrating just to get stopped out on that last final piece and get shaken out when the stock went so much lower. So I really left a lot on the table, but it was still a nice trade from 198 to 250 on the bulk of my position. I'll never be too upset with something like this, guys, because I'm not going to be upset that I could have made more money. I'll be upset. I maybe think I could have traded it a little bit better, but I'll never beat myself up over it. Very similar to yesterday. I still made a good trade. Pat yourself on the back. It's important to give yourself that sense of gratification, that sense of self-worth, and to build your confidence. So that is important. So it still was a good trade. I made a decent chunk of money, so I'm not that upset with it. I also took some profits, guys, on the JNUG swing. Okay, so yesterday I entered JNUG long for a swing trade at 54.75. Right there was the entry point. Okay, I'll take you guys to the daily chart. We'll go over the setup one more time if you missed my video yesterday. If you missed the video yesterday, I'm looking at a descending wedge pattern on JNUG. Okay, here is your descending wedge. Descending wedges are typically trend reversal patterns. They signal a slowdown in momentum to the downside. And you can see with this resistance here, we are still inside of this pattern. Yesterday, we double bottomed at that previous pivot low on the uptrend support line on the bottom part of this wedge. Okay, we also had some news come out, some more uncertainties surrounding Brexit, and I thought that was going to see a rebound in the price of gold. Okay, let me go back and delete that. We'll go back intraday, and here's that level I was telling you about. Okay, you see how we kind of double bottomed here? All right, this is yesterday's lows, and that was that's the previous pivot low on the descending wedge. So you see how we double bottom there. Go back to the daily chart. There it is. You see how we double bottoms right there on the daily. So that's why I'm long, guys. I got in here yesterday, if you missed it again, 54.75 with a stop loss at 53.40, which is this low. Okay, and the upside I'm looking for is a break above this downtrend line. Okay, that would take us back up into the mid-60s. So I'm risking like $1.30 to potentially make like 10 bucks. So I love the risk reward on this trade. I love the risk reward on this entry. Right off the open today, we gapped up, we shot higher, and I'm just being prudent, guys. I took some of my position off the table. Here we are, took some profit, JNUG 57.78, still holding some. So $3 a share already on 25% of the position, and now I am moving my stop loss up to break even. Okay, I have moved my stop loss up to this 54.75 area. If we get back below this level, this pattern is probably not going to trigger. There's no need for me to hold this all the way back down to 53.50. I can stop out at the break-even point, and now I'm truly trading with the house's money at this point. No way I can lose on this trade unless gold has a huge collapse overnight and something, geopolitical, macroeconomic happens that causes a huge sell-off in gold. Then we get a big gap down in JNUG. But aside from that, there's no way I can lose in this trade. I've already locked in some profit. I've moved my stop loss up. And I think if we can get through today's highs, if we can get through 59, okay, that should take us out of this descending wedge. Okay, so here again, guys, here's that descending wedge. There's the trend line. Okay, here's the bottom part of that descending wedge. Let me delete this. Okay, there's the wedge. And if we can get above 59, that takes us up and out of that wedge, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we'll see if we get it, but that's the update. Took some profits, and I'm playing with house money, guys. All right, so good stuff. We're having a good week, just building on top of a big week from last week, and we'll look to just keep this going. I'll continue to update you guys on this JNUG trade. All right, I'll see you guys in chat. Take care.